Too many French people in the French game BS. I didn't even read this. I was just like, why are people angry at the Claire Obscura game? Because it's doing well. So Pirate Nation dude said, French leftists are trying to cancel the devs of Claire Obscura with accusations of racism. Wow. I'm shocked. They're grasping at straws such as Sandfall consisting of white devs, peddling in conspiracies that Sandfall are racist and gatekeeping non-whites and non-French from working at the studio. Why would you need to peddle in conspiracies when on the opposite side we literally have game devs that are just like, I don't hire white people. My team is actually 100% diverse because, like, sometimes you just need that kind of environment where you don't have to be around white people and you don't need to be subjected to, like, white people things. Why, like, why invent conspiracies when we know it's happening? Oh, does it kind of break your narrative a little bit, maybe? That Sandfall consists of the bigots who were expelled from Ubisoft after its workplace harassment drama. Well, I don't know what that is, but I mean, I feel like Sandfall's doing much better than fucking Ubisoft right now, dude. Let's make a good game. Yeah, make a good game, actually. That they're racist because the sole Black Expedition 33 member dies early on in the game. Did none of these people remember anything about the fucking 90s, dude? Like, unironically, the black guy was always the one to die first in horror movies. How is this any different? No spoilers. I'm not gonna remember. That the game somehow has a nationalistic and patriotic agenda which is meant to appeal to fascists. Okay, for a moment here, let's just pretend that it did. Why would that be a problem? Because the game isn't real. So if they wanted to make like a nationalistic patriotic agenda game that appealed to fascism, why wouldn't they be able to? Because it's not fucking real. It's it's fiction. It's fake, man. It's a story. This is someone reggae lore gorilla. He is a gorilla. 30 devs and only white people. It's true that it's suspicious. No, that's not suspicious at all. They made a good game, and now you're just angry. What the fuck? I guess these people have never seen Starship Troopers. The second tweet here. What Japan Expo said, the team behind the exceptional Claire Obscure Expedition 33 will be at Japan Expo on Friday, July 4th. Come meet them and chat with them during a conference and a signing session. Well, that sounds cute. And then some fucking weirdo said, we don't forget that they refuse to hire non-French or non-colored people before even looking at the CV. Not because it's good to suck at the game, but we have to start denouncing the studio's problem. That just sounds like you made some shit up. This is like, I'm angry at this developer, so I'm just gonna make some shit up and try to tarnish their reputation. This is, I don't know if you've been following the drama surrounding the devs of Expedition 33. Basically, 30 racist devs made a better game than 15,000 leftist devs. Also, yeah, true. Even if they were racist, they did make a better game than 15,000 other actual racists. Let's be kind of honest, right? Didn't realize you could determine color by a resume? Well, to be fair, sometimes the name is kind of obvious, you know? Like, if your name has, like, 70 characters in it and I can't pronounce it, there's a chance, right? The horror of a French studio hiring French people to make a game infused with French culture. What a tragedy. It really is. How dare they? And then another freak over here said, there were more than 33 developers. The Asians who worked on the game are not highlighted. A person of color reported being rejected for a developer position, which inevitably gets people talking. A person of color reported being rejected for a dev position, which inevitably gets people talking. Are you saying that, like, anytime a person of color gets rejected for a promotion, it should be a suspicious circumstance that gets investigated? What kind of fucking nonsense is that? What kind of fucking train of thought is that? The French, rhubarb to the core. The game itself doesn't really follow the woke codes with radicalized characters highlighted, or sorry, racialized characters highlighted, same difference, as well as their teams in the photo. This appeals to fascists and is politically exploited by racist video game fans for their anti-diversity fight. It also raises eyebrows among leftists. Moreover, the nationalist and patriotic discourse was very present in the promotion of this game, which makes some people suspicious of the creator's underlying ideologies. Have we really gotten to the point that the game industry is so saturated with ideologues who have tried pushing current day propaganda into every game that their filthy little fingers touch? That people don't understand that the games aren't real? They don't reflect real life? You can be like a fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an Orthodox Christian writing on a game that like demonizes the in-game religion because it's incredibly oppressive, and that doesn't reflect how you feel about your own religion IRL. Like, this is just insanity to me. Oh my god, you saw an interview with the devs? They're not even anti-woke, they're just regular people? Yeah, but regular people are now, like, extremist Nazis, according to the mentally ill. And for some reason, some companies still listen to the mentally ill for reasons I can't explain. And this other one here, posting screenshots from Google Lens, so probably not totally accurate, but apparently Sandfall are racist assholes. What does it say? I gotta zoom in. Some nerd here said, basically, when I was finishing my studies, a friend and I, who isn't French and racialized, for the record, what does that mean, would go around the studios in Montpellier to hand out CVs. When we arrived at Sandfall, those nasty bastards just yelled at us saying they're not recruiting, and anyway, they don't take juniors, etc., and they threw us out without taking our CVs, and sometime later, I learned that a guy I know who's white was hired there. Chat, can I ask why the font changes so often? Like, this doesn't look like a real message because the font is so fucky-wucky throughout the entire thing. You know? You know? Racialized means not white. That's a really grotesque word to use. I would feel really weird being like, I am a racialized person. Like, what the fuck? Google Lens is messing it up? Oh, okay. Okay. Google Lens. Oh, Google Lens Oh, okay. It's translated. I didn't understand. It's translated overlay. I see, because this was probably originally in French, wasn't it? That makes sense. I don't want to do that. Today I learned that their level designer is a Raptor fan. I don't know what that means. And Askip, the leads are former Ubi employees who left during the wave of reports of assault and harassment. And that according to them, the studio is too woke. I mean, they're right. They're right about that. I can't read this one on the right, though. This one's kind of blurry. Kind of blurry as fuck. I'll summarize, but basically they're shitty racist, and when I wanted to drop off a resume with a friend who isn't French, they threw us out without taking our resumes with the excuse that they don't take juniors. The studio is mostly made up of juniors. Are they though? Are they though? I don't know. Who just drops off resumes? What decade is it? Good question. I don't know how that works in the gaming industry. So this person with those screenshots was quote retweeting someone that said, oh, so that's why the only black character in Clair Obscur died in the first 10 minutes of the game. Wow! I'm very disappointed. How about you just, like, don't focus on the race, man? Like, play the game. Oh. Chat, if I had just scrolled down ever so slightly, I would have been able to see those images in large instead of having to, like, try and read the tiny ones. I've suffered from being a woman once again. The quality of their game casts doubt on the devs being inexperienced, right? Game dev veteran, game industry hiring is highly word of mouth. Yeah. Highly in Juggalo, thank you. You don't understand how Ubi became what it did when you were growing up? It was a sim for the US MIC with all the Clancy games? I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. They've just lost their goddamn minds. Unironically. Huge possibility this was in response to people complaining they didn't have enough diverse hires. And I have this post. Sandfall Interactive saying, we've noticed discussion online concerning us and our values, so we want to make this absolutely clear. Expedition 33 was created with respect and tolerance by teams and partners from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives. Our game was crafted with love. Please don't weaponize it to spread hate. Which is like, yeah, don't be fucking weird about what color the people are in their game, dude. Why even post the blurry ones when you have the clear images in the first place? I don't fucking know, man. It's not enough. Don't bend over. Yeah. Expedition 33 has a banger soundtrack. I cannot wait to play it, man. I cannot wait to get into the game. I've been looking forward to it. I have a key. I want to play it. Australian woman accused of triple mushroom murders breaks down in court. What a funny title. That triple mushroom murders. What did they mean by this? What the fuck is any of that? Erin Patterson, who was accused of murdering 3 of her estranged husband's elderly relatives with poisonous mushrooms, wept as she was questioned over expletive-laden messages. Well, that sounds a little less fun. That sounds a little less fun than what triple mushroom murder would have led on in the first sentence. What, an actual witch? Yeah, why the fuck would you do that? He's already estranged. Why would you fucking go after his elderly relatives? What's wrong with you? Lady forged mushrooms and killed her in-laws. Why the fuck? An Australian woman accused of murdering 3 of her estranged husband's elderly relatives with a meal laced with poisonous mushrooms wept as she was questioned over expletive-laden messages about the victims on Tuesday, in a case that has captivated the country. Erin Pattinson, 50, is charged with the July 2023 murders of her mother-in-law, Gail, father-in-law, Donald, and Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, along with the attempted murder of Ian Wilkinson, Heather's husband. How did he fucking live? Was this man like a special forager who had been slowly poisoning himself with smaller mushrooms in anticipation of the day that somebody actually tried to poison him so he could survive? What the fuck? That's kind of crazy. The prosecution alleges that she knowingly served the guest beef Wellington that contained lethal death cap mushrooms at her home in Leongatha, a town of around 6,000 people, some 84 miles from Melbourne. Patterson denies the charges, with her defense saying the deaths were a terrible accident, and she faces a life sentence if found guilty. Appearing as a witness for her own defense, Erin Patterson was questioned on Tuesday by her barrister, Colin Mandy, about a series of expletive-laden messages sent to friends regarding the Patterson family. The court previously heard that the relationship between the accused and her estranged husband, Simon Patterson, deteriorated shortly before the alleged murders due to a disagreement over child support. Interesting. I wish I'd never said it. I feel ashamed for saying it, and I wish the family didn't have to hear that I said that, she said of the messages, which the court had previously heard in the prosecution's case. I was really frustrated with Simon, but it wasn't Don and Gail's fault, she told the court through tears. Well, then why would you kill Don and Gail if that's the case? And also, can we read these messages? They keep referencing the expletive-laden messages, but like, I want to read them, you know? I want to read them. Erin Patterson is the first witness for the defense after the prosecution rested its case on Monday, following a month of evidence from witnesses, including relatives and medical, forensic, and mushroom experts. The accused began her testimony on Monday afternoon, and it is unknown how long she will give evidence for or whether she will be cross-examined by the prosecution. The trial, which began on April 29th, has seen intense interest from Australian and international media, with podcasters, journalists, and documentary makers descending on the town of Morwell, around 2 hours east of Melbourne, where the trial is being held. Interesting. Erin Patterson mushroom murder trial live updates. All right. This live blog is now closed. Dr. Rogers suggested Patterson had an interest in death cap mushrooms in May 2022. Depends on what you mean by interest, Patterson responded. Dr. Rogers highlighted a search of a death cap sighting in Moorabbin, which was posted to iNaturalist on May 18th, 2022. Prosecutor suggested the post on iNaturalist was similar to a screenshot of an iNaturalist page taken by informant detective Stephen Eppenstall in December 24. It's possible, I don't know, Patterson replied. Dr. Rogers also suggested Patterson looked this stuff up. It's possible, yes, Patterson said. It wasn't your son, Dr. Rogers asked. I don't know, Patterson said. Daughter? Dr. Rogers asked. I don't know, Patterson replied. What the fuck? What the fuck? Didn't they say it was death cap? Yeah, they did say it was death cap. Patterson has no specific memory of searching for the death caps online. Dr. Rogers said Patterson's Facebook friend Christine Hunt gave evidence that the accused killer was a good researcher and a super sleuth. Look, she can't be just like me. Do you agree this is how you were regarded? Dr. Rogers asked. No idea, Patterson replied, before adding that she could be a good researcher. Patterson was shown records of the computer found in her house, which suggested an iNaturalist map of death caps was accessed on the device. The jury previously heard evidence from cybercrime officer Shaman Fox Henry. Is that him? It said pictured. He doesn't look like a real human being, chat. He looks like an AI person created for like a parody of a buddy cop movie from the 70s. He doesn't look real. Wait, yeah, his name is Shaman Fox Henry, the cybercrime officer, and it says pictured. There's no picture above, so yeah, that's gotta be him. That's the shaman. Shaman Fox, what is happening, chat? Looks like he's wearing the classic disguise glass. Yeah, he's got the fucking Groucho disguise, dude. Fox, he's your relative. Is he part Maori? No, if he was part Maori, he'd be more olive in tone and also more muscular. The local shaman dealing with a poison case? Yeah, he's the shaman fox hunter, man. Dealing with the poisonous mushrooms. Cybercrime officer Shaman Fox said he searched and found death cap and poison references on the device, and the data was investigated and reported back. Dr. Rogers pointed out a search on iNaturalist and asked if Patterson searched for that page. It does look like somebody did that, yes, Patterson said. She is so fucking unserious for someone on trial for 3 fucking murders. Like, holy shit, that is crazy. It's like, you're actually on trial for the deaths of 3 people. You're not sending a cease and desist to Vice Lady. Maybe you should take it a bit more seriously. I don't remember doing it. It's possible it was me. I don't use Internet Explorer or Bing, but I accept maybe I did this time. I'm not sure. I wonder if she's one of those boomers who's just like, oh, I know how people will never see my search history. I'll use Bing. No real people use that. You don't know whether it was you, Dr. Rogers asked. Patterson said she had no specific memory, but it was possible because she wanted to know if death caps grew in South Gippsland. So it might have been this search, she said. I'll use incognito mode. Patterson reveals why the lunch guests were chosen. Dr. Rogers asked Patterson if she invited the Wilkinsons to the lunch to ensure Don and Gail also attended. I didn't need to do anything. I invited Don and Gail because they would come because they loved me, Patterson said. That's how they get you. They're like, oh, these people love me. I can poison them easier this way. Patterson previously told the jury her relationship with Ian was friendly and amicable. I saw him whenever I went to church, but socially, we didn't see each other a great deal. Patterson admitted she wasn't close with Heather. Pictured. Hello, Heather. The jury heard Ian, said Patterson, never invited him, and Heather inside the house prior to the July 29th lunch. Then why would you accept? Why? You're like, oh, this woman is estranged from my brother. And she's never invited us for dinner, but she's inviting us now. We should definitely go. This sounds like a good idea. Yeah, do not the come. Patterson's son previously gave evidence he hadn't seen his mum interact with the Wilkinsons much, but thought the relationship was not a negative one, but not strong. Yeah, that's probably fair, Patterson said. Dr. Rogers asked why the Wilkinsons were invited to the lunch. There were a few reasons, Patterson said. Ian had been my pastor for years and years, and I would see and speak with Ian and Heather a lot after church, and I liked them, and I wanted to have a stronger relationship with them. Yeah, the kind of strong relationship where I can think about you in my mind while you're 6 feet in the ground. That's a pretty strong bond. Gail had said what I had done to the garden was nice, and Heather would like to see it. Patterson then broke down sobbing. I wanted to say thank you to them for being good to me over the years, Patterson said. She said Heather helped her with her daughter when she was young and showed kindness, and I wanted to say thank you to her. She murdered a pastor. I think Ian was the one that survived, if I remember right. Yeah, she murdered Gail Patterson, Donald Patterson, and Heather Wilkinson, along with the attempted murder of Ian Wilkinson. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe he wasn't like an expert survivalist who had been dosing himself with small poisonous mushrooms in case this ever happened. Maybe his pastorly ways saved him. Poison resistant because of the holy buff. Yeah, exactly. He's resistant to poison because of the holy buff. She killed a pastor? She tried to kill a pastor, but she killed the pastor's wife, unfortunately. Patterson claims she asked health conditions of dying Dawn and Gail. Patterson claimed she talked to Simon about how Dawn and Gail were. I suggest you did not ask him. You did not ask how Dawn was, Dr. Rogers suggested. What does that mean? We discussed how Dawn and Gail were. That's how I found out they were in the hospital, Patterson said. Patterson claimed this occurred during a phone conversation. Dr. Rogers suggested there was no discussion about Dawn and Gail being in the hospital. Patterson said yes, there was a conversation. Dr. Rogers suggested Patterson never asked how Dawn was doing. Disagree, Patterson replied. And never asked about Gail, Dr. Rogers said. Disagree, Patterson replied. Do you maintain you asked Simon at this point how Dawn was, Dr. Rogers asked. I can't remember the exact words of that conversation, Patterson replied. We had a discussion about their health. We were discussing how Dawn was. Dr. Rogers asked, did you ask or not ask how Dawn was? She said, yeah, I would have. Dr. Rogers asked, and did you ask how Gail was? Correct, Patterson replied. Dr. Rogers suggested Patterson never asked Simon how Dawn and Gail were, and Patterson once again said, I disagree. Zentetsu, thank you for the fucking CRCs, dude. You vaguely remember a similar case where the woman murdered a family member in the hopes of reconnecting with her ex-boyfriend at the funeral. Bro, what? That's more insane than just having a kid to fix your relationship. You love the headline, Two-Faced Patterson? Yeah, right? What the fuck is this conversation? Just talk normally. It's a legal conversation, which is why it sounds inhuman. Dr. Rogers suggested to Patterson that she didn't love Dawn and Gail. Correct or incorrect? Dr. Rogers asked. Incorrect, Patterson said tearfully. I love them a lot. They've always been really good to me. I think Simon, this guy, hates that I still had a relationship with his parents. Dr. Rogers pressed further. That's what you told police, that you loved his parents. That's not true. I suggest you were angry that they took Simon's side, Dr. Rogers said. That's not true, Patterson replied. Dr. Rogers suggested, in fact, you had two faces. Dr. Rogers accused Patterson of having a public face of how she presented herself as loving of Dawn, Gail, and to other family, but her private face of how she really felt was contained within her Facebook messages. I suggest your private face is the one you show in a private message group. Incorrect, Patterson said. And that's how you felt about Simon, Dr. Rogers suggested. Incorrect. And Simon wasn't a decent human being, Dr. Rogers suggested. Actually, I still believe that, Patterson said. What the fuck? Dr. Rogers of the Dodgers. The question on the stand, so it's all question, answer. Yeah. Incriminating messages on Facebook. Say it ain't so. Yeah, apparently she wrote some expletive-laden messages, but we don't get to see them. I want to see the messages. Extremely aggressive. Ask about if she sent them. Yeah, sure. Patterson's reminded of stuff. The beef Wellington called Simon nasty. More texts. Dr. Rogers asked if Patterson posted online that Simon was not a good father. No, I didn't, she said. Dr. Rogers reminded Patterson that her Facebook friend and witness Danny Barkley said she posted Simon wasn't a nice person. I mean, there's a difference between wasn't a nice person and not a good father, right? I mean, like, one would imply the other, but when you're talking in a legal context, you kind of got to be pretty fucking rock solid. Grilled over text. Here we go. Patterson has shown a message she wrote to her Facebook friends on December 7th, 2022, where she discussed that if Simon wanted to walk away from his responsibilities, then it's a blessing in disguise. Patterson is also reminded of the "this family, I swear to fucking God" message. Dr. Rogers suggested to Patterson this expressed your true feelings. No, Patterson replied. Patterson was also reminded of the "fuck them" message. Oh, that's what you thought about Dawn. Fuck them, Dr. Rogers said. I regret writing that, Patterson said. I was venting. If this wasn't the case of a woman being on trial for murdering the 3 people that she had been talking about in these messages, I would probably also err on the side of like, yeah, all of us can say some pretty fucking grating shit when we're mad at people, right? Like, especially if we're like venting to a close friend so that we don't say something heinous to the person we're mad at, right? Like, none of that shit is going to be how we really feel. It's just how we feel in a heated emotional moment. Fuck them, how honest. Yeah, I've said worse. Dr. Rogers suggested Patterson was angry at Dawn and Gail for not taking her side over Simon's. I wasn't angry, but I was frustrated and hurt. Patterson said she wasn't angry when she wrote the "fuck them" message. Well, yeah, I mean, that could be out of frustration. It doesn't have to be, like, pure angy. Saying mean things isn't a hint you're going to kill them, but if they're dead, it makes pretty decent evidence. Yeah, that's exactly... You said it better than I did. It's just like, saying mean things doesn't mean you're gonna kill someone. But if you do kill someone and people unearth a bunch of angry messages about them, it's gonna, some dots might be connected. Let's see. What the fuck? What a fucking court illustration, man. Holy shit. This looks eerily similar to the lady who, like, redrew that Jesus picture. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? There was, like, that lady who was paid to, like, restore this picture of Jesus, and then she made it real fucked up. Democrat councilwoman blocks arrest of migrant who beat up her pregnant daughter. If this was my mother, I would probably have to call in a favor from Rooster finally. I'd have to be like, look, man, I know my mom was the one who gave me your contact, but look at the behavior that this woman is displaying, Rooster. I think it's time to take the cow out to pasture, Rooster. Police body cam footage captured the chaotic moment a Massachusetts councilwoman, because of course she fucking was, attempted to block the arrest of a migrant who allegedly beat up her pregnant daughter. The intense encounter took place on May 8th in Worcester. Chad, if you don't remember, Worcester is the town that I reported on. I found a lot of really nice Victorian houses there. Worcester has some beautiful architecture, right? Worcester was the town with all of those weird, deranged people LARPing as transgenders to try and get Worcester as a transgender sanctuary city. Because they were like, everywhere around the country, all of the medical procedures are under attack. And we gotta protect trans youth and we need to protect trans healthcare. So Worcester should become a transgender sanctuary city. And all of them looked like weird amalgamations of like Gaia Online avatars and Tumblr headcanon. Like they just looked insane. So that's what's going on in Worcester. So this doesn't surprise me that now this woman is just like, I don't care if he beat up my pregnant daughter. You can't deport him. About 50 minutes outside of Boston, when ICE agents confronted a crowd of 25 unruly activists as they tried to arrest Roseanne Ferreira de Oliveira. The Olive Man. The Olive Man, a 40-year-old Brazilian national, entered the U.S. illegally in August 2022. While agents attempted to apprehend the Olive Man, who was accused of assaulting her pregnant 16-year-old daughter, Democrat City Councilor Atul Hoxhiaj, what the fuck kind of name is that? Was seen grabbing ICE officers and shouting at them to get out of our neighborhood. Following the dramatic event, authorities said Hoxhiaj incited aggression towards the police and eventually assaulted both Worcester police and federal law enforcement officers on the scene. The Worcester Police Patrolmen's Union also noted that the councilwoman's behavior also emboldened others to act in this manner, as many bystanders were seen filming the moment and also screaming at officers. Officials have called for an ethics investigation to take place following the ordeal. I feel like there needs to be more than an ethics investigation, right? Like, this is necessary because she's part of the government, but also, she should get fired. I don't know how you fire a council person, but, like, she shouldn't have that position anymore, man. This is the heat map meme. Consult the heat map. As Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Leah Foley warned that her office will look into anyone who tries to interfere with ICE operations, including elected officials. This conduct poses significant public and officer safety risks. It is conduct that should be vilified rather than glorified. This looks like a still frame from a horror movie right before the jaw completely unhinges, and then like either a spirit gets sucked up into the body and possesses them, or their unhinged jaw just like eats another person in the horror movie. You know, like this also just looks uncanny valley, but maybe it's because it's in 1987 camcorder quality. The overwhelming scene began when police officers arrived to help ICE officers who requested assistance with the rowdy crowd. The Olive Man's teenage daughter, dressed in a black and white sweater vest, was seen with her face on the hood of a car as officers surrounded her. Hoxhiaj was then seen interfering as she put her finger in an officer's face before turning to the 16-year-old, screaming, "Let her go, do not touch her." Other people then gathered around the scene as the teen suspect shouted, "Don't touch me," "Don't touch her!" Haxiaj then yelled as she shoved an ICE officer's arm and tried to get a hold of the girl. During another moment, the councilwoman was seen arguing with several officers on the sidewalk, begging them to let the teenager go. "She hasn't done anything. She's traumatized. She's my constituent," she yelled as officers pushed her back. Haxiaj added, "She's my constituent and you're hurting her." She then questioned why the minor was being arrested, telling officers she has done nothing. An officer then addressed her as counselor and warned her to back away. He continued, "Back away and get your hands off of us." Do you think that this councilwoman would do this for anyone that wasn't an illegal immigrant? Because I genuinely don't think she would. During a press conference just days after the altercation, Haxiaj said, "The message to our city manager, our police department, and every single member of this community is that the response yesterday from the federal government and the police department was completely unacceptable." No, the police could have done a better job if you weren't fucking out of your mind, dude. Holy shit. We need to watch this video that's posted above. Both the Olive Man and her teenage daughter, who has not been named, were taken into custody after the minor ran after the car her mother was in and kicked its passenger side, according to Mass Live. Just before she ran toward the vehicle, she handed off her sister's child to another person. What the fuck is this whole story? Like, it just keeps getting more my mother's life. The juvenile was arrested and charged with reckless endangerment of a child, disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. She was later released from custody. The Olive Man, who authorities said is a violent criminal illegal alien, has been charged with endangerment of a child, disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. The raid was caused by an altercation the day before when Augusta Clara, the older sister of the teenager, said her partner and father of her 3-month-old son was arrested by an ICE agent. Clara, who shared details of the ordeal on a GoFundMe page, said she was then confronted by ICE officers the following morning, demanding I return my partner's car and report to sign immigration paperwork. Well, that's a cute little baby onesie, though. I like that onesie. Raid was caused by an altercation the day before when Clara, the older sister, said her partner and father of 3 were arrested by ICE agent. So this is like an entire family getting arrested by ICE. That's crazy. They can all get deported together. She then left her baby with her teenage sister and went with the officers, who soon informed her she was under arrest. At that point, she called her mother, the Olive Man, to take her son, but when she arrived, ICE agents tried to arrest her too. Clara said... God, I fucking love ICE! They then violently pinned my sister to the ground as seen in the viral video and arrested both her and my mother. They even tried to take my baby from me, but thanks to neighbors who recorded and protested, they backed down. No, I'm sure they want to keep you guys together. Get deported together today. Clara said she's now living in fear and has since been staying with friends. I cannot work and I'm struggling to survive. Good. Good, you won't struggle to survive or work when you go back to your home country. And you gotta go back. The Worcester Police Department said the investigation is ongoing, and Daily Mail has contacted Haxiaj, ICE, and Foley all for comment. Let's fucking watch this video, baby, dude. Excuse me. Excuse me! There we go.
Don't fucking touch me. Stop.
She hasn't done anything. Let her go. Please let her go. Let her go. She hasn't done anything. She's traumatized.
I feel like, you know, if you don't have an accent, if you don't sound like me, if you don't got the like lesbian leather biker fucking accent, you should just get kicked out of the state. I'm gonna be real honest, all right? We'll make a couple of exceptions, you know, if you're gonna enrich our state area, like maybe we'll let you slide if you don't talk like we do, but I feel like it should be a prerequisite, like 95% of the time, all right? Like if you can't talk like me, get the fuck out.
She's my constituent. She's my constituent.
Okay, well, you can go to the station when she gets her bail, okay?
She has done nothing. What are you doing? Why are you arresting her?
Because she's illegal!
Why are you arresting her?
Counselor, you cannot. Back up, man. You have to back away. Back away. You gotta back away. Back away. Get your hands off of us. Back up. Absolutely not.
Let her go. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't done anything.
Jesus, bro.
the fucking Jesus, bro. I feel that. I feel that. She didn't do anything except come into the country illegally, right, dude? Right, dude? Kirsche says, knowing I'm trying to move to the area. Well, you got tons of exposure to me, Bailey. You can emulate. Become the mock of your dreams. Has to be performative, right? There's no way they actually feel like this. I mean, I feel like some of them are probably brainwashed enough to actually feel like this. But for the most part, it's incredibly performative because they know that if they don't do this, people will be like, well, I can't vote for you. You're not a real Democrat. You're not trying to make the country worse. You wish you're tired of ordering food and hearing, you want vanilla milkshake and chicano nugget when you ask for a burger. I don't even know what kind of accent that is, but you know. I'm just tired of calling customer support and like none of them can speak English, honestly. Middle school teacher arrested after boy catfished him. What? Oh.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Lauren Solik. A Huron middle school teacher is on unpaid leave tonight, accused of sending nude pictures to someone he thought was a 14-year-old girl.
And according to court documents, it wasn't a girl, but a teenage boy who made a fake Snapchat account and was catfishing him.
Sorry, I meant to send nude pics to an underage girl. I'm not gay. How fucking funny! First of all, why is a boy pretending to be a girl catfishing people at that age? That's a bad sign. Who touched him? What's going on in that kid's life? We need an investigation.
Dan Santella joins us now with a closer look at this unusual case. Dan?
Zachary Catterabek stands accused of 2 counts of sexual.
Physiognomy is unbeat, chat. This guy looks like he wants to touch children.
Exploitation of a minor, along with 2 counts of solicitation of a minor. He's scheduled to be in court in January when he'll have to respond to the charges.
4 years, Zach Catterabek was trusted to teach students in the Huron School District. But in May, court documents say
he looks like he's on Reddit hating on lollies. Yeah, he do got that fucking Reddit mod feel.
12-year-old girl told a friend the teacher had added her and messaged her on Snapchat, which made her uncomfortable. That friend responded by making a catfish or fake account posing as a 14-year-old girl named Kate.
Never mind. That 14-year-old boy, he's gonna go far in life. That's crazy. That like a girl got contacted by this teacher and told one of her friends, and that boy was like, you know what? It's time to be a man and do something about this. And he took this fucking child predator down. Absolutely based and high IQ. And I wish nothing but good fortune on that 14-year-old boy. Holy fuck. 14 years old, already based. Yeah, his future is bright and he does more than most adults do in these kind of situations. This random 14-year-old boy did more to catch a predator than the Buffalo School District that the unsubscribed guys have been fucking torching for the last few weeks.
He added Catterabek on the social media app. The two exchanged numerous messages. Court documents say when Kate said she was 14, Catterabek responded, quote, "Oh, so only 4 more years," and a winking.
This man utters the phrase, preheat in the oven, I guarantee it.
Face. The documents also say Catterabek made sexual comments and sent photos of his genitalia. When investigators confronted Catterabek, he admitted speaking with the minors on Snapchat and sending them 4 pictures of his penis after.
Why is penis in fucking quotes? Why? Was it too small to actually tell what it was and that's why it's in quotes?
Kate told him she was underage. Tonight, Catterabek is still listed as a middle school teacher on the Huron School District's website. However, the school board took unanimous action yesterday on the status of his employment.
To change Zachary Catterabek's leave from, or administrative leave from paid to unpaid. Is there any discussion or comments?
Don't worry! The pedophile's still listed as employed here, but he's on unpaid leave. Normally the pedophiles get paid leave, but he's getting unpaid leave. We're better. We need an extra large wood chipper, right, dude? They actually gave him paid leave. I know, it's astounding, man.
Okay, seeing none, we will vote. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Dan Santella, Keloland News.
Today, I received an emailed statement from Huron School District Superintendent Craig Steinhoff. It says in part, quote, "The Huron School District is communicating with its attorney and is cooperating with law enforcement. All policies, procedures, and laws are being followed." The full statement is included in this report on our website.
That was crazy. That was nuts, man. He looks like Chris Griffin. Don't do Chris dirty like that. Public sector jobs should not have unions. I agree. God damn. Internet Zen Master, thank you. One phrase, the "why don't you take a seat, sir?" Hey! At least this one didn't have a shitty diaper upon arresting, right? At least the officers had a bit cleaner scene to deal with. They saw what happened in Buffalo and thought, not us, not today. True. They felt that group of guys looking down the backs of their necks. They're like, all right, it's not going to be our circus this time. He looks like the diaper baby. Well, no, the diaper baby had darker hair, didn't he? A Vanny Rowe, thank you. Kirsche, you don't understand how impossible it is to fire a teacher. I know it gets pretty impossible once they get tenure, but before tenure, I thought you could just kind of throw them out, right? There's this one. Family speaking on the missing Paragould woman last seen camping, pleading for any leads. Family is missing a Paragould woman, hanging on to hope that she'll return home soon. It's been 25 days since anyone has heard from Jessica Page Kemp. While the boots on the ground search covers a wealth of land, the Greene County Sheriff's Department is also examining Kemp's electronic devices. Law enforcement, a pool of support, and especially her family, are desperate for any sign of Kemp. Kemp is a 32-year-old avid camper who hasn't been seen since May 5th, when she was spotted camping by herself at Lake Ashbaugh in Greene County. "I'm going to search until the day I die," Sandy Kemp, her mother, says. "If I have to, I will bring her home. No matter what, we will bring her home." While camping alone is a hobby of hers, after several days of no contact, things started to seem fishy to her family. On May 14th, they spread out across northeast Arkansas to search for a search mission no family ever expects to take on. "I never dreamed this would happen to us as a family." The story has spread rapidly through flyers, Facebook, and TikTok. Sandy Kemp says despite rain, storms, heat, and cold temperatures, they've been searching for 25,000-acre area surrounding Lake Ashbaugh alongside multiple law enforcement agencies, all with a shared goal to bring her baby home. She says her keys, debit card, phone, and jewelry have been the only signs of Kemp at the campsite, which is totally unlike her daughter. She knows these woods like the back of her hand. Sandy's son, Daryl Kemp, a key player in the search for his sister, says Kemp has struggled with depression and he believes she was camping to escape from the hustle and bustle. Still, he's not losing hope that she's still out there. "We try to find the joy in anything we can as well because we feel like we have to do that in order to persevere and keep going forward." It's something the mother says takes a village. "We've had people to show up and we've told them, and they've shown up a couple of days later just looking. Total strangers we've met along the way." A Facebook group has been dedicated to raising awareness about the case and communicating updates from the family. It's called Help Us Find Jessica Page Kemp. If you have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to call the Greene County Sheriff's Office. And then there's the number on the screen. Let's see if this video has a couple of images of her that might help.
Well, tonight, the family of a missing Paragould woman is hanging on to hope that she'll soon return home. Channel 7's Kaylin Clay spoke today to the family of Jessica Page Kemp, and she joins us tonight with their story. Kaylin.
Well, Chris, it's been 25 days since anyone has heard from Kemp. While the boots on the ground search covers a wealth of land, the Greene County Sheriff's Department is also examining Kemp's electronic devices. Now, law enforcement, a community of support, and especially her family are desperate for any sign of Kemp.
Jessica Page Kemp, a 32-year-old avid camper, hasn't been seen since May 5th when she was spotted camping all by herself at Lake Ashbaugh in Greene County.
I am going to search until the day I die. If I
This is a strong Appalachian woman. God damn. I was like, I immediately could tell this woman was from Appalachia.
have to, I will bring her home. No matter what. We will bring her home.
While camping alone,
what a crazy, like,
after several...
I don't know why pausing isn't fucking working on YouTube well, man. This is a very, like, diametric difference in response between, like, the Kobayashi family, other than the father, and this family looking for their daughter. I was like, I I still don't think Kobayashi's dad killed himself. I'm going the fucking tinfoil Epstein route on that one. He did not kill himself.
Days of no contact. Things started to seem fishy to her family. On May 14th, they spread out across northeast Arkansas for a search mission no family ever expects to take on.
I never dreamed this would happen to us as a family.
Look at the update. There's an update.
Of the pure gold woman you've probably seen on the flyers, Facebook or on TikTok, says despite rainstorms, heat, and cold temperatures, they've been searching a 25,000-acre area surrounding Lake Ashball alongside multiple law enforcement agencies, all with a shared goal to bring her baby home. She says her keys, debit card, phone, and jewelry have been the only signs of Kemp at that campsite. Totally unlike her daughter.
She knows these woods like the back of her hand.
Her son, Daryl Kemp, a key player in the search for his sister, says Kemp has struggled with depression, and he believes she was camping to escape from the hustle and bustle. He's not losing hope that she's still out there.
And we try to find the joy in anything we can as well, because I feel like we have to do that in order to persevere and keep going forward.
It's something the mother says takes a village.
We've had people to show up and we've told them, and they've shown up a couple of days later just looking. Just total strangers that we've met along the way.
Well, a Facebook group has been made. It's dedicated to raising awareness about the case and communicating updates from the family. It's called Help Us Find Jessica Paige Kemp. And the title matches the exact requests the family is presenting day after day. On your side, I'm Kaylin Clay.
Moms are trying to delay their daughter's first periods. Experts say they're right. What? Puberty in American girls is starting earlier than ever, and some moms aren't waiting around to see what that means for their daughters. Rebecca Kinderman is just one who's doing everything in her power to try and delay her daughters, age 10 and 12, first periods. Her Instagram reel, at Beck Kinderman, on the subject has received 1.6 million views and over 57,000 likes across the platform at the time of writing. I don't know how it works on Instagram, chat. Let me turn my BGM back on. I don't know how it works on Instagram, but I feel like 1.6 million views with only 57,000 likes would be like incredibly bad ratio on Twitter, right? Is that a good ratio on Instagram? Because I feel like that's bad, right? This is called precocious puberty. I think precocious puberty is when it's like early onset, right? But this isn't early onset. Like, I got my period at 9. I feel like that's pretty normal, right? Alpha Chad Foxu. The experts want our kids to shit themselves for longer. It's healthier. Yeah, like I don't really understand this, man. I don't understand. For the Gold Coast mom, this has meant overhauling everything from her family's diet to screen time. I believe that if we can delay this part of growing up, especially when their brains are not developed enough to handle everything that they could be exposed to online, we are allowing our girls to stay young for longer, the 36-year-old told Newsweek. I think this is really creepy. I think this is really creepy and weird. To be like, yeah, my daughter's going through puberty at a normal age to go through puberty, but we want her to stay younger for longer, so we're gonna do everything we can to delay her maturing. Like, I feel like that's really fucking creepy. Well, the average age is dropping into that range because the age that girls are getting birth control is averaging into 11 to 13. I could see an argument for getting birth control at like maybe 15 or 16 if you're using it for like, if you have incredible pain when you get a period, or if you have like incredible fucking like just heavy flow, right? Like some actual reason, like maybe I could see an argument for it at that age, but 11? No, that's way too fucking early, man. Girls who experience early puberty may also be at a higher risk of developing depression or anxiety. That explains a lot. Hey, that's me. That's literally me. For real. A quick scan shows 3 months earlier average per decade for the past 5. In Indeed, the data shows the average age for a girl's first period is now just 11.9 years, with 16% starting before age 11 in the United States. Wait, if it's currently 16% starting before age 11, does that mean I was like an incredibly fucking rare statistic if I started at 9, back in like the early 1900s or whatever? That's crazy. That's kind of insane. I never thought that I had anything abnormal. Besides the brain damage. What is even more alarming about starting your period early is the increased risk of hormone-related cancers later in life. Just do what I do. Just eat tons of ketchup. The lycopene protects you from the cancer. For instance, girls who started their period before age 12 have a 23% higher risk of developing breast cancer compared to those who start at 15. 15 seems really old to start female puberty, though. Like, even when I was younger, I was told, the typical age that girls start is earlier than boys, and it's also, it was like 11 to 13, I think. The only other lady you knew with a first period that young is actually Melody, if you recall correctly. Oh, hot damn. The foods, hormones, forever chemicals, those are the real problems? Yeah, but if we tackle the real problems, how will corporations make money? 9 to 11 was the normal age of puberty for hunter-gatherer societies. The agricultural revolution caused it to skyrocket due to lack of variety nutrients in food. As we have advanced, we've gotten better nutrition over the years. Yeah, but we also eat the microplastics. Female puberty is directly correlated to BMI and emotional trauma. Is there a scientific source for that? 15 puberty for a girl, you'd feel bad for her? Yeah, same. 15 is way old to start puberty as a woman. Like that just seems way old. According to what you're looking through, in the 1950s, it was 11 to 13. Yeah, that seems like the accurate number for what I was told as well. Additionally, early menarche has been linked to increased risks of endometrial and ovarian cancers. Early menarche? I've never seen the word menarche. Articles' numbers are all over the place. It wasn't always like this. Elena Bridgers, a science writer who specializes in maternal wellness and mental health, explained in a recent reel on Instagram that girls in hunter-gatherer societies often started their periods as late as 17 and began proper ovulation around 19. Hold on, wasn't there someone in chat that said it was like the exact opposite? That the hunter-gatherer societies had it like younger? That sounds sus. Yeah, that bitch is fucking lying. Oh man, I love it when men get angry about female statistics. That's nice. Thank you guys. For millions of years, women's brains and bodies went through the emotional turmoil of adolescence before we actually hit reproductive puberty. But modern teens have to deal with painful periods, the risk of getting pregnant, and sometimes actually getting pregnant well before their brains and bodies are actually mature enough. Bridger said in her now viral clip. I mean, yes, I agree. There's plenty of teen pregnancy that just shouldn't be fucking happening. But the answer to how do we make sure teens don't get pregnant isn't let's delay them entering puberty. That seems like, how did you arrive at that conclusion? And also, millions of years, women's brains and bodies went through the emotional turmoil of adolescence before we actually hit reproductive puberty. What the fuck do you mean by this? When like, in the like dark ages and the Renaissance period and like the Meiji period in Japan, people were having kids at like 12 and 13. Like you weren't guaranteed your children would even survive childbirth. You had to start fucking young, you know? Further normalization of puberty blockers. Yeah, this just seems like a whole bunch of bullshit. This trend suggests an evolutionary mismatch, adds Bridgers, with modern teens facing reproductive challenges before they're emotionally and physically mature. Considering I have met some men in the latter half of their 20s, you know, between like 25 and 28, and they've had the emotional maturity of like a 14-year-old, I don't think delaying the puberty of girls is going to fix any of these fucking issues. Evolutionary mismatch? What the fuck are you talking about? But like, what is the point here, right? What are they trying to achieve by trying to convince people that, yes, you should try and delay puberty in your teenage girls. Like, what is the end goal of this? Early onset of menarche is associated with higher risk of miscarriage, more menstrual cramping, more painful and irregular periods, higher risk of preterm delivery, reproductive cancers, anxiety, and depression, Bridgers told Newsweek.
Actually, as someone who had early period at age of 9, I feel like I could use my personal experience to counter this paragraph and say that
I have had exactly 0 menstrual cramping during any of my periods since I had them when I was a child. My periods have never been painful other than like back pain, which like my back pain very much increased after I had an accident, but that wasn't biological. And also, my periods were hella fucking regular. They would come like a fucking clock on time every month for years. And then I started taking birth control and I'd have like 3 periods a year. And God forbid I stopped taking my birth control. That bitch would come back with a fucking vengeance, and again, on time, every month. So, like, I don't know what this bitch talking about. I can't be that much of a statistical anomaly. I am not worth that much to a lab in the deserts of Nevada. All right. Birth control fucks women up. I mean, yeah, probably. I do not take an estrogen birth control. I only take progestin birth control, so it's not a combined. So maybe it just doesn't fuck my hormones up as much as the typical estrogen birth control. I have no idea. Put everything in the anxiety and depression stat pools. Yeah, I guess I stacked all my points in anxiety and depression, and that's why I've never had issues with all these other things. D112 Cons, thank you. Is there a VTuber named menarche yet? No, but when I find one, now I'll know what it means. Hormone treatments destabilize the body's hormone production. They all make a mess. Yeah, I'm not saying that, like, the hormones aren't making any kind of an issue. They might be. I mean, I haven't been told I have any, like, major health problems aside from my spine making extra bone. But, like, that has nothing to do with my lady hormones. Avoiding estrogen birth control is a big help. You're correct. The estro-based ones do fuck people up and cause a lot of side effects that we're seeing. Well, thankfully, I got the other one. Thank you, League of Legends, for increasing my blood pressure to the point that my gynecologist refused to give me estrogen-based birth control. Without you, League of Legends, my hormones might be incredibly fucked up. So for this, I thank you for your service. We're not sure whether early onset of menarche causes these things or whether there's a third explanatory variable, like obesity, that causes both early onset of menarche and puts girls at a higher risk for depression. Wasn't it starvation? Wasn't it like anorexia that caused early onset fucking periods? Didn't someone else in chat literally say that earlier? Haven't people in chat said things about this, that this woman said 180-degree opposite in the article after? Holy fuck. Anorexia can yeah, if you already have your period and then you start like being anorexic or bulimic and starving yourself, it will stop your period. When everything causes it, nothing causes it. 2 things can be true at the same time. Yeah, but I mean, if this person was being honest, wouldn't they say that being severely underweight or being obese would cause these issues? Did you know they tried to give men birth control and it didn't work because there were too many symptoms? I know that they tried that, but I didn't know why it didn't work. Mari_en talked about that. How dare you only post half her name. A friend was anorexic and didn't start till 19. Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. That causes both early onset of menarche and puts girls at higher risk for depression. On the whole, I think we can safely say that starting your period too early is not a good thing. I mean, again, you know, like, personal anecdote does not translate to statistical happenings or being factual, but, like, I haven't suffered anything terrible. I was like, I haven't had any issues, so, like, why would we just decide it's not a good thing all of a sudden? I don't know, man. Evidence suggests that some of the leading contributing factors to early menarche, the age at which a girl starts her period, are in fact environmental, including stress, psychological factors, and diet-related. Oh. I certainly wonder what kind of stress and psychological factors might have induced my period early at 9 years old. I wonder! It's truly a mystery. With this in mind, Kinderman is raising her daughters as holistically as possible. We're very focused on raising our kids with as much of a holistic approach as we can. This includes no personal devices for any of them, and certainly no access to social media and the internet. Chat, we figured it out. If you prevent your daughters from accessing the internet, it will delay their period. They won't start menstruating if they don't have access to the internet. It's those 5G gamma rays directing themselves to their ovaries too early. The family eats mostly organic and removes pesticide residue from fruit and vegetables. Isn't the latter just normal? Like, are there people out here who just like pick up the pesticide covered apples at the grocery store and eat it without washing it off? Like my brother and I would like go to strangers' houses and use the faucet on the side of their house sometimes. Like, we would just fucking hop their fences, go into their backyard and wash off our fucking apples. Like, if we could do this as like poor ass ghetto children, surely everyone washes their fruit, right? We make our own perfumes using essential oils, she told Newsweek. This age is really big for girls wanting to smell pretty, and unfortunately, perfumes are a cocktail of hormone-disrupting chemicals. Are they actually? Are they like, cause I used like Bath and Body Works spray when I was a teenager. I was like, I don't know, Spice Bomb, oh no, I will make my man wear Spice Bomb. Meanwhile, mom of 2 daughters, 7 and 4, Nikki Skinner, has taken similar steps to delay her own daughter's first periods. Can I just say, this whole article has made me incredibly uncomfortable and it's very creepy, but the fact that the people pushing this, their last names are Skinner and Kinderman, just adds another layer of fucking creep to this. On her Instagram page, Skinner from New Zealand raises awareness that girls are starting their periods earlier than ever. Her recent reel on the topic, which has clocked up to 8 million views at the time of writing, provides a list of reasons why other moms may want to join her on her mission. I'm just gonna let my daughter, if I have a daughter, I'm just gonna let her period happen when it happens. I should have zero hand in how early or late her period happens. It should just happen. Like, is this the same mentality of like the men who are like, I'm getting my son circumcised because I was? These are women who are just like, I hate being a woman so much that I want to stunt my daughter's growth. Is this like that same kind of fucked up mentality? I'm sorry, we've got to delay your period for reasons. Like, if I was one of these daughters and I grew up and then I read this article, I'd be so fucking pissed at my mom, dude. Like, holy fuck. While delaying first menses is her goal, it's not about artificially manipulating natural development. That's exactly what it is. What the fuck do you mean? It's about creating an environment that doesn't bring the period on prematurely. It's about an awareness that girls are starting to ovulate earlier and knowing that comes with risk, so doing what I can to ensure the environmental factors I can control as a mother. Knowing there's a lot I can't control or not impacting my girl's health in a negative way. I mean, yeah, just don't put them in a super stressful environment. Like, just don't be my mom, bro. Period denial is a very sus thing to do to someone. Period denial doesn't even sound sexy, like orgasm denial. It just sounds like, what the fuck are you talking about, you freak? Indeed, the 2 moms are part of a growing group of parents rethinking early puberty and how modern life may influence when a girl has her first period. And the subject is gaining traction with experts, too. Oh boy. Laura Bryden, a doctor of I almost said neuropathic, but that says naturopathic medicine. What the fuck is naturopathic? With almost 30 years of experience in women's health, notes that very early menarche before age 8 is considered abnormal and warrants medical attention. Well, she's right. That would be precocious puberty, right? Like that is incredibly fucking early. You feel like you're hearing a whole lot of studies say, but no citing of said studies, right? Massively roundabout way of saying raise your kids on a healthy diet and minimize the excess hormones that get in the food and water. Yeah, like if this was just an article of like, hey, you want to be careful of what you're feeding your children because there's tons of fucking bad chemicals and shit in it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. But they're purposefully talking about trying to delay periods. Like the whole article title was like, we gotta delay this, man. Even early menarche before age 11 is not ideal, Bryden told Newsweek. From a health and biology perspective, early female puberty and menarche are also associated with a greater risk for insulin resistance, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, I almost said ovary, and breast cancer later in life. Importantly, the early menarche may not directly cause those long-term health risks. Rather, it may simply be another manifestation or complication of the metabolic dysfunction, high insulin, that drives all the downstream health risks. Women, it's time to be more afraid of being women. Everything about you is dangerous. Bryden, who is also the author of Period Repair Manual, said that the timing of female puberty is significantly influenced by food supply and environmental factors, leading to variations throughout human history. And again, like I would agree with this, and I feel like our food supply in the United States is not regulated quite enough. Like we could do with a few more better things to get rid of some of the fucking phthalates and other shit in our food. She said that during periods of scarcity, puberty tends to be delayed. Meanwhile, in times of abundance, it generally occurs earlier, adding that male puberty is not as sensitive to food supply. I mean, that doesn't surprise me because like they're the ones that supply the spermies and we're the ones that have to like gestate, you know? So it feels like that makes sense. The modern trend toward earlier menarche is, in part, a biological response to more reliable nutrition, which is a good thing. But it also has coincided with an alarming rise in metabolic dysfunction, insulin resistance. Well, maybe someone's cooking something in the kitchen. That's what it sounds like now. Which now affects people across all ages. It's not just that metabolic problems are increasing, they're also amplifying in severity. And that's happening across generations because of epigenetics. Let's normalize preteen girls being young, enjoying playgrounds, and slowing down the onset of puberty. You see, again, this is worded really fucking creepily, right? Like, why would your goal be slowing down the onset of puberty? Unless a vast majority of women are getting, like, their menstruation cycle under the age of 10, which I don't think the majority are, I don't think this is really a cause for concern at the moment, right? The whole article is way too narrow-scoped. It's far more than just insulin, and menarche is only a marker, not the goal. People are going to do differently bad things to delay puberty instead of just eating healthy. Yeah. This is, like, just really fucking weird. It looks like a creep photo, too. I don't know. This article is just... makes me feel grody. So is it any wonder that moms doing everything they can to delay their daughter's first period to prevent the associated risks? No, that's weird. Of course, Kinderman and Skinner acknowledge that while moms can try their best to do everything they can to delay their daughter's first periods, there is no guarantee. It's important to remember that genetics play a big part in this too. If a mother got her period early, even if you do everything right, the daughter may still menstruate earlier too. There's no need to be shamed or feel guilty around this. Nobody feels shame or guilt around this. Like, literally fucking nobody. That's fucking weird to say. That's a weird thing to say. Bridgers said that genetic factors at play and even environmental factors can be very hard to control, and warns that setting a goal to delay a girl's menarche can cause shame and failure for both parents and girls, and may lead to unhealthy parenting practices. Oh boy, are we gonna start seeing mothers like getting mad and penalizing their daughters if they start bleeding early? We're just no longer capable of having like actual conversations about bodily changes with children anymore. And they're just trying to shove more drugs down kids and people's throats. I don't know. This is just weird, dude. I do think, however, that parents should do their best to make sure their children are eating a healthy diet and getting plenty of outdoor exercise. We know this will be good for them anyways. And I mean, yes, 100% agree. If this article was just about healthy diet and outdoor exercise, I don't think there'd be any issue. But because it's framed as, how do we prevent girls from getting their period? We need to delay it as much as we can. Like, it's weird. Bridgers advised limiting sugars and processed foods, normal, ensuring they have plenty of time outside and away from screens, normal, and avoiding heavy use of personal care products with known endocrine disruptors. Again, normal. As like a teen girl, I get that like everything around you is pressuring you into like wearing makeup and to using skincare products and doing all this shit to like fucking doll yourself up, right? Maybe it's because I was a tomboy, I don't know, right? Like I was a fucking goth tomboy back in the day. What a combination. But like I just never felt the need to wear makeup, and like, yeah, I got bullied by both girls and boys for it, but it didn't make me feel like I had to wear makeup. And so I feel like if you have a decent parental unit, whether it be your mother or your father or your grandparents or any combination in thereof or what the fuck ever, if you have like a decent family member to help you, you're not going to cave into that kind of peer pressure and buy all this slop that you don't need to be putting on your skin at a very precarious age. You're telling me women who wear no makeup come out looking younger when they grow older? Yes. Yeah, I still get fucking carded, bro. Like, I look young as fuck. Bridgers advised limiting... I read that part, and I agreed with that part. Bryden said that while something can be done, the goal shouldn't be to delay menarche. That is literally the title of your article. That moms are trying to delay their daughter's first period, and experts say they're right. And then buried down here, the goal shouldn't be to delay. You're giving me a little bit of a mixed signal here, woman. Do you just not know how to word your propaganda very well yet? And so you kind of have to play these hot, cold, hands-off, hands-on game? What is this? It's not about restriction or micromanaging childhood, and certainly not about calorie restriction for kids, she said, adding that she doesn't believe Skinner or Kinderman are suggesting this. That's... what? Instead, it's about trying to create or restore a food environment that allows normal human female physiology to unfold. You sure could have fooled me with the way this entire fucking article is worded. Again, if this was just about, like, give them healthier diet, give them more outside time, make them more active, less screen time, do not let screens raise your child, I would have agreed 100% with all of that, because that is just good parenting. But that is not what this article was claiming. Both Kinderman and Skinner are also advocates of open conversation around periods with their daughters. Kinderman told Newsweek that she's always open with her girls about their cycles and puberty. And I'm very glad that my grandmother was, because when I got my first period, it was on fucking Christmas! And I woke up and I thought I was dying because, again, I was 9 years old and I had not been given that, hey, your body is gonna just start bleeding once a month because, you know, that's what you do when you're a woman. I was never given that talk, so I woke up just covered in blood on Christmas morning and freaked the fuck out. And my mom was like, "Oh, congratulations, you're a woman now." And I was like, "Why am I bleeding?" I was a Christmas miracle, man. My hopes are that when it does happen, it will be a really positive experience for them, she said. There won't be any fear or uncertainty. Yeah, you don't want to wake up thinking you're dying. I've heard too many women share that they weren't prepared for it. Oh, just like me. Mothers that never talked about it or talked very little about it, and they got it young and felt scared. They literally me, for real, for real. Oh boy, another group of people who think they can outsmart nature and a delicate hormonal system for the results they want. What could possibly go wrong? I know, right? What could possibly be wrong with this? My hopes are that my girls feel excited for the day and will be celebrated when it happens. Okay, that's also kind of weird. You shouldn't really celebrate the period. That's kind of weird, right? It's just like, it's a bodily function, man. Dad had a clue. Maybe not the best clue, but use the best clue he had. My dad tried his best. He is a man of few words and a man who doesn't elicit emotion very often, but he is a good man nonetheless.